Booty bean. What are you doing, cutie? Oh, thank you. You playing with the cat? Mm-hmm. Bring it here and I'll throw it to you. Yeah.
What's happening, man? Boss Golf coming at you guys with a non-video game related topic today. For many of us on the planet, we're being greeted by winter's cold blanket, and for a few select fortunate of us, we are experiencing summer. But for those of you guys that are following me on the channel, or are subscribed to me on the channel, and you enjoy my content, and you enjoy coming back and watching my entertainment, providing it to you guys and things like that, I'm gonna ask my subscribers and my viewers on the channel something personal. I'm gonna ask that you guys please take extra care of your pets this winter. I'm gonna ask that, especially in the harsh cold and when it's snowing, be mindful and remember to bring them inside when they're not out for a play or not out trying to use the restroom or anything like that. Well, if you happen to think to yourself, well, Boss Golf, wouldn't people already know that? What's the point of you making this video? I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people that already know that. And you know what? You'd be pretty damn surprised at what people don't know in the year 2017, in the age of information. You know, I have 2 cats, and when I think of them, I don't think of them as cats. I don't think of them as pets. Especially after learning over the years and actually spending time with them, I've come to think of them as my own children. And when it comes to you guys, if you have pets, if you decide to get pets, I'm asking that you do the same. You know, people on this planet can be kind of cruel. I grew up in a neighborhood. I've come from a place where people treated pets as if they were just pets. Well, Boss Golf, how else would you treat them? And that there is a question where my problems lie. I said it to somebody before a while ago, but if you can't tolerate the cold, then they can't. They may be better suited for it. It may be where especially the domesticated pets originated from, the cold, the wilderness. But it doesn't mean they should have to endure it if they don't have to. If they have owners or parents that have the ability to take care of them and give them the care and warmth that they need to survive the winter. They have that right. We have that right. I come from a neighborhood where people treated pets as if they were just pets, especially when it came to the wintertime, or just caring about them in general. There was a lack of love, there was a lack of compassion, and definitely a lack of understanding of animals and pets. Of course, there is 1,001 things that we don't understand about them, especially if you aren't a veterinarian, or if you don't study the animal physiology or animals in general. But even with all that information and knowledge, there's still things that we don't know and don't understand about them. But with that being said, they're still beings just like us on the planet. They still have emotions, they still have feelings, they think and feel, they care and love, and show as much compassion and sometimes anger as we do. And that's something that you have to keep in mind, especially if you have to have a pet or plan on getting one. I say I treat my animals as if they're my kids, because in my eyes, in my mind, how else would you treat them? And if not to treat them like that, then the real question that we all have to ask ourselves is, how else would you treat them? Or what do you have them for if you don't have them to treat them as if they're your own, as if they're a part of you, as if they are you? What's your real purpose for having one? I remember back in the day, it'd be cold outside, or it'd be raining, and people would just leave them out in their little doghouse, or out in the shed, or whatever. And yeah, those things shelter you from rain, but once again, if you can't tolerate it, or if you don't want to, why would you let them tolerate it, or endure it, if they don't want to? Some animals, especially my schnitzel, likes to be outside for a prolonged period of time. They like to, it's instinctual, especially for some. For Schnitty, I guess that's always been in his blood. He loves the outdoors. He loves the smell of it. If I come in and I have outside on my shoes, he wants to be near me. So, some enjoy. But you have to think of that too as if it's just a kid that wants to go outside and play and then come back in when they get too cold. That's how I used to be as a kid. When it rained outside and it thunderstormed, I'll go out, play with my fucking Power Ranger and Digimon toys. And play until I was soaked as a fucking whale, and was cold and tired and was ready to go in. My ex-lady once told me a story. I believe it because of the things that I've experienced and I've seen people do as far as pets. Told me a story about these people who left their animal outside and the weather was below zero. And they left it outside one night. He came back out the next morning and the pet had frozen to death. All in all, if you take nothing else from this video of me honestly just randomly rambling, just be mindful to your people call them fur babies. I just call them kids. But be mindful whatever you may call them or think of them as, and try to be more understanding as to what they are and what they mean to you under your care as a being on this planet. That's it. Winters get harsh regardless of where you live, and especially in this time, I guess you can say it feels like winters are gradually getting harsher. So just be mindful of that. Regardless of what you have your pet for, or your child for, 9 times out of 10, especially in unfavorable conditions, they'd rather be inside with you, either chilling, maybe eating some cat food, probably playing with their favorite toy, or maybe just nuzzled up under you while you play video games, watch your Netflix, beat off in the corner. They really don't care. Because if they could, they'd probably do the same shit. Just something to think about. Something that ran across my mind. And as with all things, if I find it favorable, and if, like, I find it necessary, I'll pull out a camera and I'll talk about it. Just try to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more understanding, and take the extra step to bring your familiar warmth and care this winter, or even this summer, depending on where you live. They're not just beasts. And you know what? That's not just me coming from saying that because of the pets that I have. That's backed by scientific proof and evidence. Look it up. If you don't have a library near you, or if you don't care to read books, I'm more than positive that you have a phone. And if you have a phone, then you have access to God, aka Google. Or Alexa. One of them will tell you. Some may think otherwise. Because a lot of us fail to see outside of our own selves. "85% of the time, we're maneuvering this thing we call a body." But it's true. Just because we can build, and we have appendages and opposable thumbs, in reality, it makes us no grander or different than them. There's a quote that floats about that says, "Do not judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree." Of course, back then, I just took that for what it was. But when you really think about that, it's true. Fish can't climb. It's not in their... They're not able to do such a feat with what they have. If fish could talk, if they could teach, and we can learn from them, or if we could learn from them, and we asked one to teach us to climb a tree, it would look at you as if you just swallowed your own shithole. But if fish could talk and we can learn from them, or if we could learn from them, and we asked them to teach us to traverse through the seas and learn us about what you know about the depths of the ocean, they'd school us. No pun intended. So, I guess this is it for my PSA as I finish my cigar. But main thing of the video, when you go outside, especially if you're wanting to leave your animal outside, there's a lot of people that just do that. If you go outside and it happens to be cold, and you feel it, and you think to yourself, "God damn, I can be inside right now." Make sure you think about that from the perspective of your pet as well. Unless they're outside and they're enjoying themselves, let them have fun. Let them run out their energy. Do their damn thing. But when it starts snowing, or sleeting, or hailing, or anything like that, I ask that you not leave them in a shed or their doghouse outside. People do these things ignorantly, and I'm not saying ignorant as in, oh, you're stupid. Ignorant means lack of knowledge. People do these things ignorantly, and then years down the line, it builds up and it adds up, and they wonder why their animal all of a sudden goes crazy. Or my dog attacked me. We just went crazy one day. We had to put him down. I don't know why. I don't understand. One question, if I was one of those people, or if I was a vet or somebody who studied animals, one question I would ask them is, how did you treat your animal when they were under your care? If you have the ability to speak, how many times a day do you speak to your pets? Scratch them behind their ears. Feed them a little bit extra fish food. That sweet shit that you do for your significant others and your loved ones. How many of those acts of kindness do you do for your pet? Those things matter. Because if they matter to us, they matter to them. It just doesn't seem like it because we can't properly, or some people can't properly communicate with them. I know there's people that claim to be cat and dog whisperers and things like that. But that's it. Once again, this is just a message for my subscribers and people who watch my videos and things like that. Because especially the ones who've been with me since back then, since I started this channel, the ones who've been with me since I've been with in my previous relationship. You know, I don't just think of you guys as viewers. That sounds cliche, especially if it were somebody who were like big and famous, whether they be a YouTuber or a movie star or anything like that. But I mean that. In these times, especially if you're growing up, or if you're learning, or if you call yourself a student of life, it's the small things we have to think about. Because if we don't, it will be our ultimate downfall as a species, as a collective species, both human and animal, on this celestial divine planet we call Earth. Whether you care to admit that to yourself or not. So that's it, man. I'm out of this thing. I'm about done with this. And anymore, I'll just be talking in circles. So I appreciate you guys, especially the ones that stay watching my content and that are truly supportive. And I do hope, if you plan to pursue getting an animal, or if you have one, and you just treat them with that little much more care. Not just this winter, but throughout the entire year, or years to come. Who knows, they might surprise you one day. Whether they be fish, or cat, or dog, rabbit, iguana, a bird, doesn't matter. You already know what to do, man. Keep them schlongs all the way long. Keep them long. Keep them clits tight, and I'll see you to the hoes on the flip one. Peace.